Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am an English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the grammar portion of Unit 11, that is, showing preferences. So, let's begin. We are now going to start a grammar topic called giving or showing preferences. Now, the question is, what do you mean by the word preference? You will find that out in a short while. Let's first read the given conversation. We have two characters, Ria and Ryan, and they are talking about something. Let's study. Ria, what do you like to do in your free time? Ryan, I like reading novels. What do you prefer? Ria, I dislike reading long stories, but I prefer watching movies. The best stories of novels are featured in films, you know. Ryan, I agree, but don't you think reading books enhances your writing skill? Ria, of course. Our English teacher also told me to read books to enrich my vocabulary. Ryan, but sometimes I enjoy reading stories about science. Ria, it means you prefer science fiction. They are really fascinating. Have you read Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley's Frankenstein? Ryan, no. Ria, you'll enjoy reading about a scientist who created life and was horrified by what he had made. This is what the dialogue is about. Now, can you find out some of the preferences? The words that actually show the preferences, words like dislike, prefer, don't like, things like that. Let's find out some preference-showing words. The first one that we have is like. The second is also like. Another is dislike. We have things like don't you think, phrase like that, right? Enjoy is also a preference-showing. Prefer is the exact preference-showing word, and you'll enjoy is also a preference-showing word. So how many different preference-showing words that we have? We have like and another like, and finally we have dislike. Afterwards we have don't you think and you'll enjoy, separate words. Enjoy is again repeated, and we have something called prefer. So these are some of the preference-showing words. Let's study about them in detail. You can start by saying something like Suman would like to be rich. Be rich. Suman would like to be rich. Suman prefers reading sci-fi. What is a sci-fi? Sci-fi is science fiction. Suman doesn't like playing in the sun. Suman likes spending money on momos. Suman enjoys playing Candy Crush. So these are some of the examples that would help you to learn about the preference structures. So I want you to learn about the preference structures. What structures? Preference structure. I want you to learn about preference structure. Now, Suman is our subject, right? And he likes to do many things. He even doesn't like to do something. So we are going to learn about the preference structure. Given below are the preference structure, and these are his likings and dislikings. So these are more like likings and dislikings, while these are preference structure. Suman would like to be rich. Who doesn't like to be rich? Who would not like to be rich? So Suman would like to be rich. Suman prefers reading sci-fi. Everybody loves reading sci-fi. Not everybody, but most people, right? Suman doesn't like playing in the sun. I even do not like playing in the sun. Suman likes spending money on momos because they are very tasty, and he can eat 3 plates of momo without getting a stomach ache. The final thing is enjoys. Suman enjoys playing Candy Crush. He had just brought a new iPhone 7 or 8, and he loves playing Candy Crush all the time. In fact, he's glued to his phone most of the time. So these are some of the preference structures. What are they? Let's just revise. The first one is called would like to. I would like to do something. The second is prefers. I prefer something. I prefer tea to coffee. That is my preference. The third one is called doesn't like. I do not like playing football. I like playing volleyball. So that is your liking. And the third one is likes. I like momo. I do not like chow mein. So that's your liking. Degree of likelihood, something like that. The last one is called enjoys. I enjoy reading books. I enjoy playing ping pong. I enjoy making fun of others. So that is those are things that I do for my enjoyment. So let's summarize. What are the preferences structure? The first one is would like to, prefer, like, and doesn't like. So we have something called like or doesn't like. We have something like or doesn't like. Another is enjoys, and another is prefers. Final is would like to. Would like to. Let's look at the following sentences. Now these are some of the examples. Now I want you to look at these examples and examine what different people say. The first, Mr. A or Miss A said something like, I prefer to be a doctor to a nurse. So he or she likes being a doctor rather than being a nurse. So his preference or her preference is to be a doctor. The second example is, I like nursing better than tourism. Now, this guy certainly likes nursing and he does not like tourism, maybe because he is not so touristic. The third one is, I dislike business but I like politics. Now, this guy clearly does not like money because he does not like business. He likes politics. Maybe he wants to be the next prime minister of our country, and maybe he wants to get power and he wants to be famous, slam people and things like that. We don't know. The last one is, I loathe driving. This guy really hates driving. This guy or girl really hates driving. Maybe because he or she does not know how to drive. That could be the reason. I'd rather go for farming. Now, driving is not a good profession for him or her because she or he likes farming. Maybe because he or she likes tilling the earth. Maybe because that way he or she thinks that he is being close to Mother Earth or something like that. Close to nature, back to nature. All about the philosophy of Rousseau. Last is, you choose doctor, I'd rather be a teacher. Now, this person is really, frustrated. I don't know. This person is more like, he's really willing to teach. And he does not like, maybe his parents want him to be a doctor, but he's rather willing to be, he's rather trying to be a teacher. That's the point. Now, the main idea that is hidden here is the preference showing structures. They are, I prefer, I like, I dislike, I loathe. Loathe means extreme kind of hatred. Not just hate, but an extreme kind of hate. Now, I'd rather be or I'd rather go, I like. So these are all preference showing structures. So these are two sample examples. People are having a brief conversation about showing their preference and all that. Ram says, do you like Fanta? Do you like Fanta? Hriday says, yes, that means he likes Fanta, but I prefer iced tea to Fanta. So Hriday likes iced tea more. So he is trying to show his preference. Let's go to another example. We have Suman and Hira. Suman says, do you like playing cricket? Now Hira says, sure, that means he likes playing cricket, but there is something more. But I can play basketball better than cricket. So it is her ability and her preference that she can play basketball better than cricket. Correct? So this is called showing preference. Now let's study some more examples. People are saying things like, a farmer is saying different things. The first thing that he says is, I like harvesting and then planting. I don't mind helping my fellow farmers in need. I don't like being cheated by the fake businessman. The last is, now these are some of the preference showing structure. We have a farmer. It could be anybody else. It could be a doctor, a teacher, a scientist, a writer. So you have to write some preference showing structure. The first structure is, I like harvesting rather than planting. Everybody likes to eat, so everybody likes the output, but people do not like the input, something like that. The farmer says, I like harvesting than planting. I like harvesting better than planting, or I like harvesting rather than planting. Something seems missing here. Another example that we have is, I don't mind helping my fellow farmers in need. So he doesn't mind. Third example is, I don't like being cheated by the fake businessman. Now he doesn't like being cheated. The last example is, I prefer terrace farming to lowland, because terrace farming, the crops are good. The yield is more, and in lowland farming it is hard because the irrigation system of our country is not good. So what if it was a writer? What would a writer like? I like getting my book published. I like people coming up to me and saying that they have read my book. I don't like being judged by these small town publishers. I prefer writing poetry to stories, or just the opposite. So these are some of the preference showing structures. They're very easy. I'm sure you can do it. Can't you? With this, we have come to end of today's class. Now I'm going to give you some homework as usual. Your homework is given below. Write a couple of paragraphs about your likes and dislikes. Now this is your question. This is the question for your homework. Write a couple of paragraphs about your likes and dislikes. Now you certainly like many things and you certainly dislike many things. Write all about them. Write the first paragraph, and in your first paragraph write all about your likes, and in your second paragraph write all about your dislikes. Correct? Very easy. With this, we have come to end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.